together. So let's talk about what clutter is. This is just from thesaurus, that clutter is really, the number one word is confusion. It is chaos. These words really began to hit: derangement, disorder, hodgepodge, huddle, jumble, litter. You know, all of these things cause us to muddle through things. And this clutter, shuffling from one piece of paper to another, is really, really hard. So what's the flip side of living in clutter? It's productivity. And this is what we want: time management, not just to get more done, but productivity is different than time management, and that it's not just getting things done. When you're productive, it's advantageous, it's beneficial, it's constructive, it's dynamic. In other words, productivity is alive. Productivity comes from a word that says produce, which is where produce comes from. It's about putting seeds in the ground and watching things grow. When you're productive, you're actually a living human being. I mean, it's this effort of daily coming out and, you know, being something new. Productive means being able to put all this other stuff, all the other clutter, out of your mind so you have space to do things. I just love this. I love the fact that this is clutter, which is a choice. I mean, it's a choice. So I am going to be working very hard to get rid of the clutter from 2020, both mentally and physically around me. Clutter is like it has its claws in you and it's holding you back and it's keeping you from moving forward. Productivity, I mean, the difference between this: when I'm productive, I feel energetic. At the end of the day, it's very gratifying. Oh, and by the way, as realtors, being productive is profitable. It's prolific. It doesn't just produce a little, it's prolific. You know, when we focus on the right things. Okay, so here's my daily planner from yesterday. I don't know if y'all can see this, but productivity has to do with action. Each one of these yesterday was an action step that I took. It was productive and it was rewarding and valuable and this vigorous. It was worthwhile. I had to look up what this meant. It meant that you can actually produce children. So I didn't know what that word meant, but it's inventive. You know, I just love this. So again, we're going to take a poll. Now we have a lot of people on the call, so I want honest answers on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being completely clutter-free, and I do know some people like that, with 10 being disorganized. Where do you fall? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being completely clutter-free, and the other is not just disorganized, but so disorganized I can't find my glasses when I'm wearing them. So where are we? Let me see. I'm going to pull this back up. Disorganized, we're seeing people at an 8, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9.9, 7 plus 8, 8, 5, number 6, number 3. See, Stephanie, I need to have you here helping me. Connie, 9.5. Mine would be probably in an 8-ish. You know, I really fight this. And that's why I created the 7-Minute Life. It's not that I've got everything figured out. It's that I had a problem that busy was killing me, and I created something that I felt like could be a solution, but it's this ongoing lifetime. So what is clutter? What is it? It is actually decision fatigue. Clutter has very little to do with paper or whatever is around you. It's that you haven't yet been able to make a decision of what to do with it. It's decision fatigue. And this decision fatigue is what leads back to this. Decision fatigue is at the bottom level, the foundation of everything you see here. If I could make decisions that were right, I wouldn't have clutter. If I could make decisions with clarity, with absolute certainty, I wouldn't have chaos. Distractions and interruptions can come at you. That's a whole nother place. But without making good decisions, I am disorganized. We do lack focus. all of these things come from not making decisions. Sometimes we don't know how to make them. Sometimes we don't have the resources, whether that's capital or additional people that we can delegate to, or knowledge. There are a lot of times we don't make a decision because we don't know what to do. So clutter accumulates for a lot of different reasons, but clutter is decision fatigue. It leads to very strong emotional issues. Let that sink in for a minute. I'd love to see some chat. Does that make sense, that it's the decisions? We have so many choices of what we could make. Let me just see in the chat if that resonates with you, that each single thing you have to do. Oh, is anybody else having a connection issue? I hope not. But each single decision that you have to make can make us stuck. We've got to push through those things. I have two classes coming up that I'm teaching. One is for 24 people. It's a 7-week class, and we have to have 24 binders printed. Well, we searched 7 different printers. This is an example of clutter. A week's worth of research. I had my teammate do it. And we still couldn't decide, should we use this printer or this printer? And so as we weren't making that decision of do we use this printer or this printer, other things were piling up that we needed to do as well. So today I made a decision. We're not going with the cheapest. We're just going. So how many things do you have? Let me go back to this. How many things do you have right now in your life that are either mental clutter, emotional clutter, conversations that you just haven't made a decision on? This is one of the key elements of clutter. It's not just that a piece of paper is on your desk. It's that stepping back and saying, why is it on my desk? A lot of the things are because I have attention deficit disorder, and I'm afraid if it's not right in front of me, I won't remember to do it. So how do we create that? These are really key elements. Decision fatigue may sound like a very little thing, but it's not that we have 1 or 2 things going on. It's that we have 1,000 decisions that we need to make. Take a breath and let that sink in. Are you going to call this prospect, or are you going to call this prospect? The other night I was on a call, and the question was, am I going to get off the call, or am I going to go build a fire with my mother? These things we have to make decisions on. And when we make those decisions, a lot of these things aren't easy to make. Is this most important than this? Is this easier to accomplish than this? So this clutter piles up, and then it backs up. So all of these things that you didn't make a decision on in 2020, let's get beyond the day. These things are still here. You're going to have so many new opportunities. That's why the 7-minute life is important. We're not going to be talking about mental clutter as much today. That's a whole nother place. Today, we're going to focus on organizing your work, but I had to put this in perspective. A lot of problems with mental clutter too. I just wanted to throw out this one statistic. In the research that I've been doing on realtors, the real estate industry has the 2nd highest level of depression of any industries in the US. Real estate profession has the 2nd highest incidence of depression in any other industries. The other one that's higher is transportation, which I guess would be pilots and bus drivers. I guess they feel so much pressure of taking care of other people. The third is healthcare, which makes sense. But it's not just that it has to be just realtors. 23% of the workforce has been diagnosed with depression. These numbers, I can give you the source. It's from, I think, America's Association of Stress. 40% of people reported their job was very or extremely stressful, and 61% of employees are burned out on the job. One of the ways we can reduce that is getting rid of the clutter. So Robin or Sabina or someone, if you can go back into the top of the chat and put this worksheet back into the chat so that people can download it. This is the hands-on challenge that we're going to take. So as soon as I see that, excuse me, that link pop up, we're going to do that. So I look forward to seeing it. It takes a minute for things to pop up. There it is. Thanks. That's the Clean Sweep download. There's one that's called Organize Your Office Workspace. That's the second one, if we can pop that into chat. So when I was creating the 7-minute life, I didn't just want to talk about here's, like the first 20 minutes of this has been the theory of clutter and why it's a problem. I wanted to dig in hands-on. What are things we can do to actually fix that problem? I don't want to just be aware of it. So I'm going to be doing this with you this week. What are things we can do to truly organize our office space? So you should already have this in there. I want to make sure that it's put in chat, the one that looks like this. Thank you, Robin. So here's some easy things that I want you to consider doing. Again, we're having a $50 Clean Sweep contest, a challenge. On Friday, we'll be giving away a $50 gift card. Not that you have to get everything cleaned up, it's that you have to take at least a few tiny steps forward. The 7-minute life is a lot about grace. It's not about one more thing on your to-do list, but it is about accountability and just taking steps. So before the end of the today, it would help if you would just pick up the trash that's around you. Make very easy decisions. Is this a piece of trash? And if it is, throw it away. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but one of the best things you can do when you're organizing your workspace is psychologically a bigger trash can allows you to throw away more things. Can't explain that, but that's what research shows. I guess we don't feel like we're filling it up as much. So get a big trash can and throw away the trash, low-hanging fruit. The second thing is just clean up everything on the floor. If it's on the floor, typically it's either a big pile or it's just stuff. When I was a stockbroker at Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch, I would find, this is back in the days that we got print, but I would take all those trade magazines and I'd put them under my desk. And by the end of the quarter, I'd have trade magazines that were this tall. And so finally, once a quarter, I would just go under there. If I hadn't read them in 90 days, I would just pick up all of them and throw them in the trash. I wouldn't even have to know what else was in there. I figured if it had been in there for 90 days, then it probably wouldn't make a huge difference. And it would probably be in there if I didn't just pick up the whole pile. I didn't even look through it. So I think that's really important. The other really low-hanging fruit is if it's old or broken, pick it up and throw it away. I'm not going to ask for, hey, that's me, but how many people, you don't have to answer yes or no, have a broken computer in your office that you keep thinking, oh, I'm going to get it fixed. You don't have to throw it away, but you can put it away. How many of you have a printer that hasn't worked in a year, or a TV, something big that you need to just take to the printer recycling place? These old broken things, they're a real problem when it comes to clutter. If it's broken or if it's old, or here's one of the things, if you have this, do I really need 20 pencils? Do I need 20 pencils in my pencil drawer? Decision fatigue even comes down to digging through my pencils or pens to find the one I want to use. And they end up there. I think I have a pencil monster because at least once a year I do this and I end up with like my 4 favorite pens in there. And by the end of the year, I've got 20 pens. As simple as that sounds, get rid of those easy things. The last piece, all of these are really easy. If it's not yours, give it back. If it's not your shirt, if it's not your binder, if it's not your anything. So just, yeah, here's Courtney is saying a great example is the box your phone came in. Why keep that? So I'd like, again, a little discussion on why these things might be easy. And even before the day ends today, could you take one step to throw out some just pure trash? Could you just grab a trash can and throw away some trash. I know I have some in my office. Let's see. Yes. If not, I understand people are busy, but let's just see if somebody, we can make commitments on this in the Clean Sweep Challenge. Connie said, I think I have 4 phone boxes. Maybe even throw away 2 of them. Peter, I see you. Robin, it's those easy steps. It's kind of like breaking the dam of, the water so that you can get things done. These are what I call the low hanging fruit, because I want to get, John Arnold calls it the coefficient of friction. I love sharing all of these ideas, but the coefficient of friction is where you have a refrigerator or a very heavy piece of furniture, and you're pushing and you're pushing and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden you push and it goes 3 feet across the floor. It's that when that friction pops, it all of a sudden becomes a lot easier. And so things that I've been making decisions on, that trying to wait and wait and wait, as soon as I start get going with all this, everything becomes a lot easier decision for me. I can just throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. So these are the low hanging fruit. After you've done this, and Sabina, I'm going to get you to put our Facebook link up. All I want to do, so Sabina's going to put, has anybody made any progress on the Clean Sweep channel, on the Clean Sweep challenge? And if you can even pick up a piece of paper, wad it up. Let's see. No, I can't throw that one away, actually. If you can pick up a piece of paper, wad it up, and throw it into the trash today, and you'll go to the Facebook link right there. Sabina probably has to make the post first. And then, Sabina, when you've made the post, let people know and just say, I threw away 1 piece of trash, or I accept the challenge. And that's going to put you in the running for the $50 gift card, just 1 piece of paper. If you decide that, yep, today's the day, I'm going to spend 15 minutes and I'm going to do that, great. John Arnold calls it the 10-minute tidy. Every afternoon, he tries to take 10 minutes to just sort through, throw it out, and decide what he's going to do. Oh, look, we're seeing some things. Brenda just threw away some magazines. Elaine accepted the challenge. This is why this community of realtors is going to be so awesome, because even that one little thing, that coefficient of friction has been broken. So let's move to the next thing. Ooh, the next thing is the desktop of your desk. Every little thing on your desk owns a little bit of you. This is where I struggle. I'm afraid if I can't see it, I won't remember to do it. I won't remember to do it. This is going to be my challenge that I'm going to accept in doing this, is really finding a way to keep my desktop clean. Now, I was just talking to my mother downstairs. My mother's 86. My father passed away in March, and I'm here helping take care of her. And I said, Mom, guess what I'm teaching? And she said, what? I said, I'm teaching on organizing your workspace and how to declutter. And she started laughing and said, let me come up there and tell him the truth. So the truth is, my mother is way more organized. And the first thing I can help you with on your desktop, you pull out something and you're working on it. You finish it. What I am now doing is putting it in a file folder, putting the file folder up in the files. Now, how I do that actually is that I keep file folders here. For some reason, I used to not like to use file folders. And I take a piece of Post-it note and I put it right there so that I can see it. So this is how I physically do it. And now I'm going to be glad that I have my pens here, because it would be really embarrassing if I couldn't find my pen. And so I'm going to write webinar. And that's another thing that I'm realizing I need to write more neatly. And so I'll write webinar, and then I will put the webinar pieces into this file folder. By the way, I found this. Oh, let me stop sharing for a second. I found this cool little thing. It's a checklist of how to declutter. I'm going to email that out to everybody on here. How cool is that? Found it from Love to Know. I love checklists where they can help us. So I'm going to go back. So I take a file folder and I put a little sticky note on it, and then I put it in the filing cabinet, and then I put it on my daily planner. My daily planner now is my desktop. I want to put every single thing that I need to do in one location. If you are new to the 7-Minute Life, and we've invited some new people, this is at the core of what we do. It's having a planning tool so that you can not forget. So did I do that? On page 24, 25, 26, 27, I took all of the things that I had to do from 2020, and I wrote them down on a page called Unfinished Work Tasks. So you can see that I have to work on a tools page, product showcase. We have 178 books left. We've got to go into a reprint, fillable forms. I had files of this all over my desk. So now the files are filed, and the only thing that's on my desk, except for what's on my desk, but the only things that I'm going to end up with are going to be written in the planner. And that's a whole nother piece. And I guess if y'all want to buy a planner, great. The second download has disappeared. Let me just stop there for a second. Let me answer some of these questions. Do y'all have questions? Because I want to come back through and answer those. Let me just stop. I'm going to take a breath and see if you have questions. And I can also put that back in. Brenda says she's having trouble with connection. I think that's been fixed. Gina says, I can relate to decision fatigue, but also how to be productive is energizing. Robin says, sometimes you need to totally turn your phone off, tackle the piles. Interruptions continually come, makes it hard to accomplish and completely finish a task. Cheryl says, physical clutter right now, it causes me to put off getting rid of it. Amen. Brenda is saying, I have the same issue. If I can't see it on my desk, see it to remember. I am seeing some of the links coming back in. Sunny says she's been throwing away paper. Let me see if there are any questions as we get down here. Accept the challenge. Ooh, I love it. JW said he offed 7 things. I love that. Brenda says, I like it. I have too many piles on my desk. We're seeing a lot. Courtney says, just a note, yes, feel free to declutter and listen at the same time. Amen. I can't wait for the checklist. How do you organize multiple businesses and multiple tasks? Okay, June, will the forms that are fillable come out at some point? Yes, let me share my screen again. If you're on this class and you would like the fillable forms, put it in chat and I'm going to ask Sabina. I'll give them away as a benefit today. So let's pull up unfinished tasks, fillable. These are new. And so let's say that you're trying to get organized and you want to be able to use a fillable form to do that. I'm going to pull this up. How great would it be if you could say, okay, here's the file folder that I don't want to forget. So one of mine, I've got the spinning beach ball of death. One of mine was the tools page. I need to finish that. The next one that I think on here, I said product showcase. We have this product, which is the Florida Realtors weekly calls. So I have files on that. I need to reorder books. So is this something that would be, I'm sure it is, it'd be something that would be helpful to be able to use, and then you can print it off. So I just don't want to forget that I've made this promise that we'll email out. But it makes sense to me, rather than having clutter all around me, to have it on a single sheet of paper in the planner, if you choose to do that, where you can actually look at it and tend to it. So let me come back to the chat. I think that'll be helpful. Okay, where do I order your book? Sabina, if you can help with that, you can order it from Amazon. That's an easy place. Please give me the tools. Yeah, the physical tools are great. Where do you order the book? Please send the fillable forms. I want the fillable pages. Okay, so I think we're caught up. All right, let me go back to this. So the desktop is easy. The next one that's on the list are the drawers. I find the drawers a lot easier to do than the desktop, because if it's already in a drawer, it's not that important to me. So as soon as I get off the call, it will be pretty easy for me to grab a handful of pens, pull out the 4 that I want, put the rest of them in a Ziploc bag and put them away. So drawers tend to be easier for me because they're already out of sight. So like, here's a perfect example. Okay, I'm telling on myself now. Look, I've got 1 eyeglass cleaner, 2 eyeglass cleaners, 3 in my top desk drawer. I don't need 3. Watch this. I'm going to take 2. Those 2 are now gone. I have 1. It's that kind of thing that we don't need. That's embarrassing. So what's in your drawers, that's typically pretty easy to do. The desktop I find a lot harder. The next one I would encourage you not to do for a while. We need to have an entire class on how to organize file folders. That is not something that I even understand. I do the very best I can, but it is a huge problem. I have a friend, Barbara Hemphill. Let me put her name in. Barbara Hemphill. She has books out called Tame the Paper Tiger. And Sabina, if you'll go to our YouTube channel and search for the video called Clutter, we have a video that's been watched, I want to say 28,000 times, that was Allyson introducing her Tame the Paper Tiger. So we'll need to have her on again. Barbara's amazing, and certainly that'll be a lot of help to you. As we continue to move on, I think there are other things that you know that you can get rid of. If you look around, what would be the one thing that would make a difference today if you could make a decision on it? I would like, if you feel comfortable, putting in what's the one thing, even if it takes 1 minute, like throwing these things out, what's the one thing that you could do today? And by the end of the week, I'd like to have you have taken 7 tiny steps. Now for, I think it was JW that's already done 7 things. You've already completed the challenge. The whole challenge is really to just be aware, you know, just to be aware. Connie says, to be honest with you, I almost didn't join this group because I thought using the paper journal and writing everything on paper would even create more clutter. I've been trying to streamline and keep most of my info in the phone. And you know, we are coming up with a mobile app. It's supposed to have launched 2 months ago. We're finding creating technology is a lot of decision fatigue as well. So you'll be having access to those things. So Mariah says, I'd like to clean out my work bag. That would be great. Clean out a purse would be another thing. Clean out, I don't know, but let's see, are there any other things that people would really make a commitment to do today? Something that would make you feel better? Do you have, yeah, getting rid of the paper you don't need? I'm trying to think, because I've thrown away so many things recently, but it's, Elaine said, I'd like to find my work bag under the clutter. Wow, I love this. All right, so here's why this is all important, is that the 7-minute life is not just about organizing. It's not just about, you know, trying to get more done. It's that the clutter is holding us back. The clutter actually takes up our time. You know, if you lose a file, it can take you an hour to find the file you're looking for. If you have things where you've started and stopped, especially like a contract or some kind of loan document, it takes forever because you don't get to finish. And a lot of that is you're working on it, but all of a sudden your eye sees something, physically sees something on your desk, and now you're off in a whole nother direction. So all of these things, but the filtering part of this is we have to begin to ask ourselves, why is clutter part of my life? Why is clutter holding me back? And so for me, clutter is holding me back because when I have so much going through my mind, I'm not in alignment with my priorities, my purpose, or my goals. So physically, there is a barrier between the clutter that surrounds me, I'm writing with my mouse, and who I want to be as a person. These things are not, they're not small things. This clutter is a problem. So how do you win the Amazon gift card? Sabina, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a minute, and I'm going to promote you to panelist. Let's see if I can find Sabina. Sabina. Okay, Sabina, I hope that you're available. I'm promoting you. Whoops, Sabina, I'm promoting you to panelist. So let me see. Okay, Sabina, I'm going to give you permission to share your screen. Let me know when you are unmuted. I don't know if I have to give you permission to unmute or not. Let's see. Go back, Sabina. Let's see. Where did she go? Oh, it looks like her technology went off. She fell out of the call. Well, then I'll do this. So in order to find us, to participate, to get the Amazon gift card, you're going to go to Amazon. You're going to go to search the 7 or Facebook, and then space the 7-minute life. Ooh. And when you search Facebook, the 7-minute life, it should take you to our Facebook page, and I'll copy and put that in. I'm hoping that Sabina has been able to make a post. If not, I will. You know, when you're teaching these webinars, you always feel like if things aren't going faster and faster, that it slows things down. So this is the back end of ours. Let's see how I can make a post. Create a post. Let me do that. It looks like her technology has been interrupted. It's thinking. All right. Join the clean sweep, declutter your workspace challenge. Participate to be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Okay, I've just posted that. Again, let me see if y'all are able to find that. Join the Clean Sweep Declutter Your Workspace Challenge. Participate to be entered to win $50. Okay, I'm going to go to chat. Are y'all able to see that? Are y'all able to see this? Because I do want you to be able to go and just put a comment in. I'll put a comment in. I cleaned up. What can I say? I cleaned up my desk drawer. So I just put that in. So in order to win, all you have to do is go to the 7-minute life and say that you are happy to participate in the Declutter Your Workspace Challenge. And once you do that, you'll be able to go in, put something in as a comment, and then you'll be entered to win. So Brenda, does that help? I'm gonna let y'all go to Facebook, search for the 7-minute life, right here, the 7-minute life. See if you can find the post that I just made and put a comment in. Let me see if someone can do that. Because I want to wrap up with some very specific things that I think you can do. Okay, Diane looks like she's just commented. Let me refresh this page. I'm seeing some things coming in now. So there we get 5 engagements. I'm not seeing any comments yet. Oh, wait, no, that's different. Of course, oh, there they are, 4 comments. Okay, so you'll be automatically entered just for being on this website. But, I mean, being on the webinar. So you're already entered, but we'd love for you to comment, just to go back and forth and say, hey, this is what I've done. Jean says, I'm excited to join the 7-minute life challenge. Robin says, I accept this huge challenge. I feel pounds lighter. Peter, I'm happy to participate in the clean sweep. And Diane has already cleaned off her desk while she's in here. One more comment. Ricardo, got it. So are there any questions about how, I mean, you're already entered, but how you can participate in this? And what we'd love to have happen is that as you actually make progress, just hop back in and say, look, I threw away whatever. I got rid of this. Amazing. So Brenda went to Facebook and she still can't confirm it. All right, let me put that into chat. There it is. So Luann says, so just to confirm, you don't need to do anything to be in the Clean Sweep Challenge. Showing up for today's webinar has put you in the bucket for the $50 gift card. So that's great. The more you participate in it, the better off your life is going to be. We're just trying to engage people so they can feel like they're making a difference. And we want you to tell your friends about this. Grab somebody in your office and say, well, I guess you can't do that now, but find an accountability person. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be posting in all of this. So Luann, just to confirm, you are already included, but we want to see progress. The 7-minute life is not just about showing up on Tuesdays for a webinar. We think it's great, but we want you to tell your friends about it. We want you to, participate. We want your office to be clean in a week from now. So let me go back and we're going to wrap up this, and I'm going to just get comments from you. All right, so I do love teaching these, and so many of you are coming week after week, which I love, because I do think these things are important, and I'm amazed. I also think it's important to have rewards. I mean, let's say you don't win the $50 gift card, and we'll announce it on Facebook, and we'll also email you. But think about the reward of just getting this stuff out of your life. I mean, that's reward enough. So here's the Clean Sweep checklist. It actually looks like this. It's in the chat. Maybe someone will replace it in the chat again. This you don't have to do to win anything, just being on the call, but we want to get engagement going. But this is what's on the Clean Sweep checklist. So clutter and procrastination, unfinished projects, poorly organized workflow systems. If I were in a room, I bet I'd be hearing amen. And an outright overflow of paper are some of the most common tolerations and that financial advisors, I was a financial advisor, creating a clean, organized workspace is the point of Clean Sweep Week. Now, what'll probably happen is you'll have some spillover into, I want to get my kitchen clean. I may want to get my closet clean. That's great. But the focus of this week is to get your workspace clean. And again, I like checklists. So the checklist is really meant to be just a guide. So the first thing that we're talking about is declutter your desk and credenza. Starting at the top of your desk, move each drawer and get through the old file folders. And it doesn't mean just picking them up and moving them. It's that decision that we have to make. If we just move them, that's not a decision. That's why I want to start with the low-hanging fruit, like trash. Does it belong to you? Is it broken? Those really can get rid of a lot of things. The second thing on this Clean Sweep checklist is set a goal to reduce the physical amount of paper in your office that's out by 50%. I don't want to just have a little bit gone. I want to have a lot of it gone. If a file or piece of paper is not absolutely necessary for helping you reach your goals, give yourself the freedom to throw it away. These are very specific pieces of information that I think can help. And so you can download it. It is in the chat. You can go and download this. Make a decision during the clean sweep week to touch each paper only once. Do not leave an unfinished task unfinished. That's the hard part, because some of these things are not just one decision. It may take 10 decisions to get rid of something, because if you're working on a project, it's not just one little thing. But if you can, instead of not leaving it on your desk, write it in the unfinished work task location in your planner or in the fillable form, and then it's in a safe location and you can put it away. You don't have to tend to it right now. You can either tend to it, delegate it, place it in a time slot, or even, put it in a planner. So you don't have to do it, just take it off your desk. Okay, this one is an absolute and complete disaster for me. I don't know if any of you are looking, but I have well over 1,200 emails because I get so many junk emails. That's not high value to me. So true confessions, I'm not going to focus on email. I want to focus on the things that really matter. This one really does matter. Call your computer support hotline and fix any nagging computer issues until they're fully resolved. Having something that you either don't know how to do, or if your computer is broken, this takes up so much time. If you can't find a file folder, just a lot of problems with computers. This is a really key to the clean sweep. It's cleaning up your computer. When I wrote this, making sure all your written correspondence is up to date, I still write thank you notes. Are there things that you just need to do? Is there a phone call that you need to make that you would like to also send something out to them? This is an easy one. Throw away all old training binders that are no longer relevant to helping you grow your business. When I moved from one office to the other, I bet I had a trash can full of binders from the 80s. And so I was able to just get rid of that. I didn't even look in them. I just got rid of them. Get rid of everything that doesn't work. And I mean, throw away or destroy old laptops. How many pens do you have that don't work? Any machines that are out of date or broken? My mother has a television behind a chair that's a 32-inch TV. It works. So she hasn't been able to make a decision, but we don't need a 32-inch TV behind a chair. There's got to be a decision made. And then this, I know it doesn't sound like much. This is actually adding something. But I've put together a box of useful items that I sometimes need at my office. For example, Band-Aids, antibiotic ointment, comb and brush. Yes, I went to the office probably more than once without deodorant, and so I keep deodorant, lotion, hammer, nail, screwdriver, and I have them in a little box. And that way, if I'm at the office and I need aspirin or a Band-Aid, I just grab it. So those kind of things save time too. If you're having to go out to the store and get Band-Aids. And then at the end of the week, once the clutter is removed, take time to really clean it out. Dust the furniture, either get rid of the plants if they're dead, a lot of picture frames, I don't know, but wipe down the inside of your drawers, vacuum under your desk, wipe down the baseboards, replace any burned out light bulbs. I mean, really, guys, how many times have you had a light bulb that's burned out for almost a year? You go in and you flip the switch and the light bulb doesn't come on, and you're like, why haven't I just fixed the light bulb? And then even Windex the window. So my goal for all of you on this class is that you'll be able to take some action. The key to this is that 10-minute tidy that John Arnold talks. Is just setting a regular time on your calendar to take 10 minutes. So the goal of all this for me is not for your office to necessarily be completely clean. It's to be more clean. If it's completely clean, great. But I want people to be able to take tiny steps. As I look through this, the work that we're doing, I believe, is really, really important. Some of you that are on this call may not even know that we have a program for Florida realtors. I'm not going to go into what we offer right now. If you want to, just put in the Facebook page or reach out to us at the 7-Minute Life. But we're really growing. So tell people that we're looking for sponsors for these programs to help us grow them and make them even better. That I'm so excited about coming to the Florida Realtor Conference in August. I'm going to be doing that, teaching on neuroplasticity and happiness. But if you're parts of other groups, we'd love to speak to that. Products, the 7-Minute Life Daily Planner, we probably haven't spent enough time talking about where you can get these things. But I'm going to pause there, and I'm just going to ask for thoughts, comments. I do see some questions. June, this is awesome. This is a great way to start your year. I love that. I don't know how you pronounce it, Matilde Perez. I'm probably not saying that. Hope this dream becomes a reality. I do see some questions. Maria says, thank you so very much. Please email the form. Sometimes it's hard to download and continue to listen. I needed that quote to share with my college-age granddaughter. I'm not sure which quote you're talking about. Everything you own owns a little bit of you. The other quote that John talks about a lot is, when you say that you'll do it later, later's already taken. Listen to that one more time. Oh, I'll do that later. We need to remind ourselves that later is already taken. So we have 3 minutes left. I am absolutely delighted that you've been here. Oh, the quote from the financial advisors. Is that on the clean sweep? Let's see. Is that this quote? Oops. Let me see if that's it. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I think that may be it. Okay, so I'm going back to the chat. This has just been great. I love having you on here. Connie says, this has been the most helpful webinar so far. Connie, I'm so grateful. You know, as we teach this, a lot of times we feel like we have to put on some kind of show. I think what people want are results. And one of the things I'm considering is actually having like a show up at, I don't know, Thursday at 4:30 in the afternoon and just open a class and actually have time for people to chat and just clean up. It's that community of being able to do those things. Courtney says, Mariah, thank you. It's glad you've been here, Connie, most helpful. Courtney has just put, we've also changed our landline to a cell. She can now text, FaceTime, love that. So there's our phone number, 870-275-7674. Any other comments? Because we will make sure the recording goes out to everyone on this class. We hope you will share it with people on this one class. We want you to do that. So make sure that you go to our Facebook page. And again, I should have that link. Let me do that one more time. I don't guess I needed to stop share. Actually, let me share one more time. And then we'll close it out. Make sure that you go to Facebook. And that is I guess you can just search Facebook, the 7-Minute Life. And I'll put this into chat or chat. If you'll go to our Facebook page, we really, really want people to engage with us. Each time you put something in Facebook, it will obviously make your chances better. But, stay in touch, come back next Tuesday if you're a member of the Florida Realtors Group. If you're not, reach out to us and we'll tell you how you can get more involved. But this is just an amazing group of people. It's growing by leaps and bounds. We're very pleased to have people that are becoming our friends. So thank you for being here today. And I will see you again next Tuesday at 2:15. This has been wonderful. You can hold me accountable as well. So I will see you. Happy New Year. And I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.